So this is going to be on slope, or M. M is your slope. You've seen it in y equals mx plus b. Your question on why is it always a fraction? Well, it's always a fraction because we're discussing this concept of rise over run. M actually stands for rise over run. The triangle is delta, or delta y over delta x. Delta just means change. So it's the change in y over the change in x. So you get this strange looking fraction thing, but it's really easier than you think. With the change in y over the change in x, it looks something like this. If we're given 2 points, say 2 and negative 3, and 4 and 5, we need to make a equation that will work with that, right? So again, we're looking for the m of our equation. We don't really need to know anything else right now. We just need to know the m. We're going to create a line that goes through these 2 points. But if that makes sense with m, is that m is rise over run. So that's what we're determining. We're determining the change in y over the change in x. So we need to determine which one our y1 is going to be and which one our y2 is going to be in our x1 and x2. I'm going to call this one x1, this one y1, this one x2, this one y2. So we get this kind of pattern going on here. The 2's go with the 2's and the 1's go with the 1's. Make sure that you get that straight. Now we take y2, so 5, minus 3, so minus a minus 3, over 4 minus 2. So minus a minus 3, we get this positive thing going on here. When you subtract a negative, you get a positive. Now we end up with 8 over 2, or 4. Now you're saying, wait, 4 is a whole number. How can it be a fraction? If you remember, anything over 1 is always itself. So our fraction then becomes this. So far we have this. We know that this right here is over 1. So our slope is 4 over 1. So now we're going to graph this real quick to show you what that looks like. So first we're going to pick a point. I'm going to pick the point 2, negative 3. So if we go and pick the point 2, negative 3 right here. Okay. Now we need to go, it looks like a positive 4. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here. And then we go over 1. So we have just created a positive slope. It is a line that goes like this. Positives point up. Negatives point down. That's a negative slope. Undefines, straight up and down. Horizontal is 0. So we end up with a couple different special slopes. A 0 slope, or y equals 0x plus b, or y equals b, is a horizontal line. An equation with x equals b is a vertical line. So you get 2 special slopes there. It's important to remember that slope is just change over time. The further we go right, the more we go up. The further we go up, the further we go right. Or vice versa, if we go down, we go right. So always go right with your slope. But your first number, if it's a negative 4, will determine you go up or down. If it's negative, you go down. Positive, you go up. But always go right on the bottom. The bottom will always go right, and you'll get your slope right every time. So I hope that helps you with slope, and there you go.